Hello everyone, welcome to Casa de Stogies Cigar Review. I'm your host Travis Jordan. Money Mike Falls, my co-host on the right, and our special guest today, John Amat.
How you doing?
Today we'll be smoking the Alec Bradley Filthy Hooligan Shamrock. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Ways you can connect with us on social media, Instagram and Facebook, Casa de Stogies Cigar Review. Check out our YouTube channel, Casa de Stogies Cigar Review. Give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for us. You can connect with us, questions or comments at Casa de Stogies Cigar Review at gmail.com.
And complaints too. Don't forget about the complaints.
Don't complain. I will
This
send
early
you,
in the show?
I will send you a hateful message back.
Wow.
And you can check out our website at www.casadestogiescigarreview.com.
We got these new raffle items for March. It's going to the 25th of this month, right? So you have till next...
You have to the 25th to enter.
Yeah, the 25th to enter. We got 2 of those Fuente green ashtrays. Just your name. Just email the Casa de Stogies Cigar Review at Gmail, just with your name, date of birth, and I think that's all we need, right?
Name, date of birth, city and state, and your email address.
And your email address, yeah. And we got 2 of them we'll raffle off, and good luck. So I think they're like, what, a $50, $60 retail value or something like that?
Like $50.
$50, yeah. They're sweet ashtrays. Very, very nice ashtrays.
They have a red
so
one.
I might enter too now, so I probably will. So.
Well, let's say this, because Maduro Room employees can't enter big raffles, you can't enter the raffle.
Oh, look at you!
Now, if
Put
you
in
want
one for me.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make burner accounts like a mother right now.
Kim can win.
Oh, she can win. Okay, all right, yeah. I'm gonna figure out her email address. Or,
You know, I would
not
really-
her, or her. I think I know her password. So.
I would really like for Paulie to win this, because if he wins this, when I go over to his house, I can use it.
Yeah, and if
Oh,
he doesn't, you
That's
can.
a win-win for
And
me.
if Polly doesn't win, it's all like, what the fuck? You know how Polly is.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
No,
He's a
never.
good dude.
Never.
All right, so what are we smoking today?
We're smoking the Alec Bradley Filthy Hooligan Shamrock. This is a limited edition cigar. Introduced, I believe, last year.
Yep.
And for 2020, they increased. Originally, it came out 500 boxes, but they sold out so fast they tripled it. So they shipped 1,500 boxes. I think we got 2.
Yeah, we got 2.
2 10-count boxes. All bars are already sold.
2 out of 15.
All of ours are already sold, but they retail for about $12. The Shamrocks are rolled in the Placentia Tobacco's factory in Honduras, so they're made in Honduras. It's a 6x60 or a 6x50 barber pole, of course. It's a tri-wrapper on it, and the Shamrock features 3 different wrappers: a Honduran Candela, Habano Maduro, and Habano Seco, and all 3 were grown in Honduras. The filler and the binder are undisclosed. Alec Bradley didn't release that information. So, and they're about $12 a stick. So there may still be some available. You know, local shops or online. Not a bad cigar. I've tried it.
Beautiful cigar too. Beautiful
Yeah, I like
cigar.
the presentation on it. Very, very nice. But it's limited edition. So if there's any out there you want to try it, make sure that you go ahead and get a hold of it.
Yeah, it's only once a year. They do it this time every year, obviously for
St. Patrick's
Day and everything.
Yeah, and
so.
the blend is a little different from the black market Filthy Hooligan.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right.
and of course, you know, it's got 3 different wrappers on it, so presentation that stands out on it, separated from the other.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, let's light them up. We're going to use our Vertigo Razor lighters, 3 different colors: silver, black, gunmetal. Nice Vertigo lighter. Still looking for that sponsorship, Vertigo. We're waiting for you to step up to the plate here.
I gave up on that after show 2.
Anyway, great lighters again. You know, we talk about them every time, but if you're looking for a good, inexpensive butane lighter, refillable, reliable, very, very good lighters to look into.
All right, folks. Our guest today is John Amat. He is a retired U.S. Marshal deputy. John, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate the invite. Really do.
Appreciate you coming on. Now, you grew up in Miami.
Born and raised in Miami. Was there up until the end of 2013.
Now, is that whenever you joined the U.S. Marshal Service? Where did you?
So I was born and raised in Miami, and I joined the Marshals in June of 1991, at the young, ripe age of 24.
So how are you born in Miami and so pale?
What's that supposed to be?
Everybody in Miami has tans, and like they're all like.
I tan really well down there.
Stop the show. We got to start over now because you've insulted our guest.
I'm not insulted,
man.
Not at all.
Man. I've seen TV shows. I know how people look at Miami.
No, it's a fair question. It's a fair question. My
Hollywood version of Miami is different from the real life version.
You gotta stop looking at those reruns of Miami Vice. Okay, you know, Tubbs and Crockett. Yeah, they're.
Don Johnson is nowhere near as cool as John Amat.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know,
that's
man.
True.
He dresses better though.
Well, he might dress
better wardrobe. Definitely a better wardrobe. But yeah, no, I got on really young. Did my first 22 years of my career were there, and then came up here and finished out up here.
Very cool. Very cool. So you didn't move here to Lexington until you retired?
Oh, I actually transferred up here. So I finished out here.
You left Miami.
Don't even ask. That's a whole other story. Some of you guys out there on Facebook know it.
I know some of it. I do know some.
I know that. Don't go down that road. So
let's take a bypass.
we need to take a hard right on that bypass right now.
The business
Let's take a bypass.
Business route.
Now you retired from the Marshal Service in 2017.
Yeah, December 2017 was my last month.
What was the craziest thing you encountered? Marshal did.
I'll tell you. So, I was in the academy, graduated, and my first assignment was working with Manuel Noriega, who we had in custody in Miami, awaiting. Well, actually, he was going through his drug trafficking trial. You know, when you see him on TV growing up, you know, you see this dictator screaming at America and how horrible the country is. And then when I finally saw him, he's all like 5'3". And we had to dress him up in his little general outfit, you know, every day. It was like, had to call him general.
Y'all had to call him general?
Oh, yeah.
Why did you have to call him general?
We had to treat him a little differently. He was actually being treated as a prisoner of war. So
not exactly a dignitary, though.
No, but you know, we had to dress him as general and put on his little ribbons and all the stuff that he never earned.
How was he? Good guy, okay guy? Bad guy, or he didn't really say.
He was a drug trafficker.
What's the conversation like?
Easy on Mike.
Like when you wake up in the morning and you're like putting the outfit on, you're like, hey, how's it going, General? Like,
pretty much.
Chow hall today, like, you know.
That's true. He did take a shot at me earlier.
He took a shot at you earlier, so you know.
No, he, you know, Mike. Actually, that's a great question. You know,
you talk to somebody like that.
You go into it, and it's, you know.
That's the official. That's the official stuff.
You don't really talk to him. You don't see him as a human, you know. But then after working with him as long as I did, you know, father, grandfather, we would have the family come in after trial at night, and you know, let him. He's rolling around on the floor with his grandkids, you know, like anybody else would. It was nice to see, you know, that side. But you had to still remember the atrocities this guy committed as a leader of this, you know, of Panama. But you know, overall, it was interesting, man. It really was.
Yeah.
But that to me was like the most amazing thing. You know, here I am, part of history. This guy's trial, you know, just out of the academy.
Yeah, I went down in history too, but for something totally different.
In Miami?
Not in Miami.
Oh.
I never banged around in Miami, but about
an
an hour.
What are you go down in history for?
About an hour west of here, I've been calling for some stuff. Not bad stuff, all good stuff.
I'm retired, man. It's okay.
I've got a reputation.
Let's see the file with Travis Jordan in the Augusta office, huh? Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
The whole filing cabinet for the Notorious Travis.
there was a lot of alcohol involved when I was young.
Oh, when you were young, not now.
Yeah, when they,
Oh,
know,
okay.
when they know you're on a first name basis, it's not very good.
Well, you know,
In 4 or 5 counties, probably not very good.
no.
Were you ever on a first name basis with any criminals? Like I mean, any guys that you would see, like, oh God, there's Dave again. Like, man, that fucking guy. You know, couldn't straighten up or anything like that.
No, I didn't usually hang with a rough crowd or anything. It was just a lot of crazy alcoholic, or not alcoholic, but crazy alcohol-fueled incidents. A lot of parties, big parties and stuff like that in Cosville. I know you're involved in this somehow.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh,
So John has a
not too
connection in the cigar industry here that you helped some a very, very good big cigar company out back in the day from Miami. You want to talk about that?
I can.
You can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a pretty cool story that was, and I was just verified, by the way, too, not on purpose, but it was, you know.
Oh yeah, you did check on me. I forgot about that.
I had a friend, a buddy I was with, he wanted to open an account, and I was like, all right, let me mention this, and he immediately knew, he called you on his phone, and we talked, it was great.
John is never going to be on the show again.
Do what?
That's the second insult in like 10 minutes.
That's okay.
No, it wasn't an insult.
It wasn't an insult.
It
He was just checking my story.
No, I wasn't checking the story. I was like, well, it kind of was, but it was like, well, if this is like, I know it's true. I know it's true.
Kind of was.
And then he called you. I was like, holy crap! Like they're really, really close. Like I just figured he'd be like, yeah, I know Johnny's a cool dude, but he actually called you right there on the floor. I was like, wow.
So he's talking about Rudy Padron, who's the nephew of Jose Padron, who's the founder of Padron Cigars. Back in 2000. My partner Tommy Britt and myself went and did a seizure of fake Padron cigars, and our seizure netted a whopping 2 or 3 boxes. It wasn't a whole lot, but what ended up happening, I let them have access to the computer inside the store, and in there they were able to find out who was buying from this person that was selling the fake cigars. And a lot of them were legit Padron dealers.
Really?
Retailers, yeah.
I didn't know that part of that.
Yeah,
So they were buying fakes from this
knowing
guy.
they were fake.
Knowing them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Falls, if I ever find out that they're doing it, I'll be able to taste the difference.
Padron's a great cigar. I mean, it is. I love Padron cigars.
And LFD.
I'll tell you, we
LFD.
we found the table where they're basically taking these Indonesian cigars and repackaging them, wrapping them, and packaging them as Padrones.
Like they were like buying them from overseas or a distributor, or how were they getting
I
them?
don't remember. It's been so long, but it was basically, let's say buying a $2 stick and repackaging it and selling it as a $12, $15
Yeah,
stick.
putting that 64 anniversary
Right.
label or something on it.
Right.
That wow.
Now, how many shops was involved in this?
I don't remember.
Retailers.
I don't remember. It was quite a few. It was nationwide.
It was running a little game. Huh?
Yeah, it was.
But that treasure trove was the computer that had all the accounts on it.
Had all the info in there. That was the killer, and it led to a multi-million-dollar seizure up in New York of the more fake Padrones.
Oh.
So the old man was very.
No,
New York's the hub of a lot of fake things, man. But
but that one directly affects me.
The good thing for me
Or would
was,
have.
I got to meet the old man, and it became, a weekly, sometimes monthly visit to their factory down in Miami. So it was just a couple of blocks away from my office, so it was nice. Nice to go spend lunch and smoke with them, and I still see them whenever I can. It's a great family, very humble family. They've never forgotten, from whence they came, and
Taking the trip, John.
do wherever you want to go, man.
Taking the trip.
When he passed away, I read a Cigar Aficionado, and a couple other magazines had a big article. I had big write-ups about him, it was amazing the stuff that he did throughout his life, like helping like negotiate like releases for the Cuban people, for the Cuban government, to the U.S. and all the humanitarian stuff he done. I mean, it was just fascinating. He was just a good human being.
Definitely a pillar of the community down there in Miami. Broke my heart. You become close with them more. I'm tighter with Rudy and with George and Orlando, those guys. The old man, though, I mean, every time I walked in, pulled a cigar out of his pocket, handed it to me. Just made you feel welcome. And I could not attend his funeral, which absolutely just drove me crazy. But my son was getting his black belt the same day, and you gotta have your priorities. And so I missed it. But every chance I get to, if I go down to Miami, I pop in there and say hello to them. And I actually surprised them. They were at another establishment in Orlando, and we're not going to name any names except Maduro. And I was there, I just happened to be there, and I drove and went by and saw them, and they were like, "What are you doing here in Orlando?" I'm like, "Man, I drove all the way from South Carolina to see you guys. What are you talking about?" It turned out I was just there for a high school football game, but it was great. Just really good people.
And how long did the investigation go on with that?
You know what? I wasn't party of it. The U.S. Marshal Service, we are kind of like the referee in any government or private seizures. You've got the plaintiff, you got the defendant, and then we go in, and we're nonpartisan. We don't care. We
just Padron, I care.
Terms. True. Now the Padron family was there, represented at the time, with their attorneys, and a couple of the family members were there. But we have to be impartial. So, this side wants some stuff, this side wants some stuff, but we have to go based on whatever the court documents say that we can take. And, sometimes you read things a little differently, and I read it that they could have the computers, and that's how we took it. So.
Now, who actually did it? Was it the FBI that was involved in that?
I think back then, for licensing and stuff like that, you're probably looking at the old Customs Department, U.S. Customs, which is now Homeland Security, or HSI. But they're the ones that would have done. They do all that trademark infringement and copyrights and all that stuff.
But you stayed in touch with the family and just cultivated a friendship. And
I got a phone call from the attorney like a month later, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Padron wants to meet you." I'm like, "Yeah,
sure,
exactly. Absolutely."
Now, what connections do you have with LFD?
None with LFD.
Okay.
No. Look at it, man.
You're
working the angles. I like that.
You're kicked out of the club.
I'm sorry. None whatsoever.
LFD, Padron, and then whatever.
So what made you decide to become a U.S. Marshal?
Oh my God!
This is actually good. This is actually tell them what you told me.
I'll tell you the true story. I was in the process to be a local cop down in Miami.
Okay.
I was going to be. So Dade County is the only county in Florida that doesn't have an elected sheriff. It's a director of public safety. Very bizarre situation down there. They've now fixed it, so I think the next guy will be a sheriff at some point.
So who, like city council or county council, hire somebody for that?
The county manager.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So I had my paperwork in. My dad called me up one day and said, "Hey, I want you to come by the house and I want you to meet somebody." I was like, "All right." So I went and get there. My dad's with this very nondescript, thin, dark-skinned Hispanic guy, and
he's from Miami.
Actually, he's from the Dominican Republic. He introduced himself, and he's like, your dad's telling me you want to be in law enforcement. I said, "Yes, sir," and I'm very respectful. "Yes, sir. I'm in the process with the county," and he's like, "Well, have you ever thought about the marshals?" And I'm like, "U.S. Marshals?" He's like, "Yeah." Like the dude's on horseback, and he's like, "We don't ride horses now, asshole." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Showed me his badge. I was like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." And back in the day, they used to take civilians out to do ride-alongs. You can't do it now, but you know, this is 1990, and they took me out. They did a couple of you know, kicked in a few doors, arrested some people, hauled them out, and I was like, God bless, that's what I want to do.
This is
you know, the hell of this county crap. No offense to my local buddies, my local police officer friends. Love you guys. But I was
now
like,
you're insulting people.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know.
It's more
It's next to you.
Yeah, we're going right
It's
down
like the
there.
It rubs off. Yeah, it's the corona.
It's like
the insult virus. Where's the
it's
6 foot?
contagious.
I need that 6 foot break from you, man.
I'm going to get a lot of negative. I'm going to get a lot of negative emails.
No, because of him.
Well, I can handle it.
So that was it, man. I was hooked. I called the recruiter, took the exam, and a year later I was in the academy.
Ah, very cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, interesting story how he got involved. But what do we think about this cigar so far? John, you're our guest. Go first.
I think I gotta light it again. I am not a Alec Bradley fan. I'll tell you that right off the bat. But this guy is nice. Very nice cigar. I don't know if it's the combination of all the different flavors in the wrapper.
Well, we don't know what the binder and filler is. Because they didn't disclose that for whatever reason. But it having the 3 different wrappers on it, I agree, it makes it more unique.
Yeah, but even on the relight, it doesn't have that bitter. You know, sometimes when you get that, you relight, you get that bitter.
Yeah.
Not at all. Very smooth cigar.
Yeah, it's interesting. Those 3 wrappers, it's a lot of different taste in that thing. You can kind of taste a little bit of that Candela, like that kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know, when you smoke a Candela cigar, it's just like unique. Like, not a bad kind of flavor, but it's just, you know, because it's not aged as long.
Yeah, it marries very well. But I really like the presentation on the cigar. It has more color than the Filthy Hooligan.
Isn't neat. I mean,
the Black Market Filthy Hooligan.
Aerosol, it's very nice.
Yeah, that's an excellent. I mean, that's.
They gotta keep this too. It's limited edition.
I would say that this is kind of more of a medium or a medium to full body. I would call it a medium for me because I smoke full body cigars. But I'm not a huge Alec Bradley fan either. They do have a few sticks that I like. And I'll smoke the filthy Hooligan from time to time when we get them in this time of year. We only get them one time a year, around St. Patrick's Day when they release them. So it's a one-time-a-year release.
So this is the Black Market line? Or the
I don't
Filthy
think they
Hooligan?
consider this one Black Market line, but
The Hooligan, I think, is kind of similar because the box is similar to the Black Market.
so I'm guessing it's just it's a companion cigar, a limited edition companion to the Filthy Hooligan.
Gotcha.
So I would say probably consider that, and yes.
I mean,
But,
I've smoked a few of the Black Markets actually. Alec Bradley, that's the ones I would smoke. Just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm a Nicaraguan snob, I guess.
You are
all the Padrones and you know, the Perdomos. So yeah, it's a lot of Nicaragua. Because Perdomo came out of Miami too.
Yeah. Did you ever do a case with them?
No. Used to go visit the shop though. He had a little brick and mortar. I don't know if he does now.
He has one in his warehouse.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was off of Northwest 7th Street and I want to say like 79th Avenue.
Also, it was just like
Small
his own standalone retail.
Standalone little retail shop.
Yeah, I think this one is in, when we did the factory tour there a couple of years ago, he said it's like wherever his warehouse is, it's just there and people can come there if they want, that he just has it there as part of the warehouse. But
I think what he ended up doing, he moved further north in Dade County. Can't remember where it is, but yeah. But he started off a little shop. They used to have those. You ever smoked the Perdomo squares? That was their box press.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the yellow label.
They don't
and
make them
the,
anymore.
red. I remember
Yeah.
those. They had the little small box open up the top. That's a good cigar.
It's a great cigar.
They did quit making that
They
cigar.
did. I don't know why.
That's a good cigar.
Now you mentioned that you went down to a high school football game. Now we were talking before and before we did the show a couple weeks ago. and you were telling me that you really like to go down and catch football games from your alma mater from time to time.
Yeah, and which is what led me to being in Orlando and seeing the Padrones. My old high school is a all-boy Catholic high school, Christopher Columbus Explorers, and they were in the state championship in December. That's why I was down there, and they won first football state championship for them. So go Explorers!
Yeah,
congrats.
First one.
First one
Hey,
ever.
good
So,
job, guys.
it was great. It was, when you are part of it's a very small school compared to public schools, and I went back there and there was guys, from the 70s all the way to the current kids that were there, and it was just an amazing. It was nice to have that camaraderie, from the high school days, and saw a lot of my old buddies from high school.
And it's still all boys.
It's an all-boy Catholic high school. Yeah.
Wow.
It was rough. When my dad told me I was going there, there was no decision making on my part. It was yes, yeah, okay.
That's what
yeah. Well, follow family tradition. I was the third son to go there. I'm one of 3 boys, and my 2 older brothers went, so I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, it was a done deal.
Yeah.
But my 2 oldest have gone there. I have my second son is a senior there this year, although his senior is a little different than everybody else's. They're not going to have.
Was he on the football team?
No,
he didn't
but
play.
he's. They're not going to have a prom. They're not going to have a graduation. They're not. It's kind of a different senior year than what we're used to having. And not just for them. I mean, for all the schools that are going through that. So, but it was great. It was a great time.
Now, you like me, you're a NASCAR fan.
Yeah, sure.
You're a NASCAR fan.
I'm having a rough year this year, but yeah.
Who's your favorite driver?
Jimmy Johnson. His last year.
His last year.
Jimmy Johnson. Really?
Stop it.
That dude's a whole.
You're gonna insult me again?
Well, no,
not because I'm old too.
I've insulted him because he likes Kyle Busch. Nobody likes Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch is the best overall driver. Who cares if they like him?
Nobody likes Kyle Busch.
He's the best.
What?
He's the best.
He's the best. That's why nobody likes him, man. You got to get on somebody like Kevin Harvick, man. He don't take no crap off nobody,
So
you run into Kevin Harvick, he's going to run into you 3 more times.
While we were waiting for you, we were talking about NASCAR, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. I may have to go with Chase Elliott next year. We'll see. Or so there's a kid that's Cuban. Eric Almirola is a Cuban descendant. So
he drives a 10 car.
Yeah, I may have to.
What happened to the guy that used to drive the 42 car? It was a Target car back in the day.
Kyle Larson drives that car. He's been there.
He was an Indy guy.
Oh, that was Pablo Montoya.
Yeah.
He come from IndyCar racing and went back.
Okay,
he went back?
All right.
He might even be I don't think he's Formula 1 now. I don't think he's back in Indy, if he's still active. Yeah, I didn't really.
Chase Elliott's like the new Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think everybody likes him just because of his dad. Just seems to be.
Bill Elliott's the man. He was the man. That was my favorite driver.
That's a nice lineage to be part of.
So naturally, I pull for him. Mm-hmm. I like Ryan Blaney too.
Yeah.
I like Kyle Busch. Anybody that wrecks Joey Logano is.
What's wrong with Joey Logano?
He sucks. That's me. That's a stupid laugh.
That's stupid. I never heard him laugh. Really? Yeah.
Come to one of the NASCAR gatherings and I'll give you my present.
We got to be invited first,
Yeah, I don't want to mention names.
I don't want to mention
names.
Waller.
I don't want to mention names. Weaver. Nothing like that.
Hey, I was at Lawler's. I was at Lawler's on Sunday.
I know. So
this is the second time. This is the second time you told me this. You're like, I was driving by. Falls basically lives across the street.
Yeah. The neighborhood right across the street.
No.
Yeah, so it's insult to injury. I'm just riding by and I see everybody's cars.
So Falls tells me twice, 2 different times. One of them was this past weekend. He says, well, I rode by and I saw your truck out there. And I was like, why didn't you just come over? And he was like, because I wasn't invited. And I was like, well, Lawler's already told you that if you see our cars over there, just come over there. He's like, well, then he started making excuses. Well, I was doing this and I was doing that. And I was like, I don't want to hear it, man. You either go come over there or you're not.
Well, see, now this is, we're going to take shots at people. I got to take a shot at Paulie D.
Oh,
because Paulie D
Hold on
last
now.
Thursday. Hold on now.
Hey, you leave Paulie out.
Last Thursday,
Paulie out.
he said he was going to send me a text with Weaver's address, and I'm still waiting for that text, Paulie D.
Well, the race was canceled.
The gathering wasn't. Still waiting for that
That is
text.
true. The gathering wasn't canceled because yeah, it was not. That is true.
I don't remember back that far.
Another long story short, after talking to Travis, I'm glad I didn't go over there Sunday because they were doing work. They were like building like walls and like fences, and they were doing
Weaver's
crazy
house?
stuff. No, at Waller's
at
house.
Mike-
Mike's house. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Mike's trying to get his house set up.
At Weaver's house, we do work during the week, not on the weekend.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was doing some work over at Weaver's house today.
We've come off the rails here in a hurry, haven't we?
Oh,
This is
man, it
going
was a
bad.
Weaver guy's rough.
Dude, I tell you what.
Man.
Hey,
I was
Weaver,
thinking we was going to have a
he's
nice NASCAR story. Hey, I went to a race and, I met, Dale Earnhardt or something like that.
Well, I will tell
Here
you.
we
so
are. Here I am getting hated on.
I got a funny story.
Somebody didn't get a little invite to the race. I said, no, they know where it's at. They know where
I
to
don't
be.
know where Weaver lives.
All you have to
so,
do is show up.
Just saying. But I did put a police car on the track in Darlington.
Dude,
Yeah.
nice.
It was fun.
You put a police car like during a race or like
No,
or like
no.
you got like
We
you
dropped
didn't
off
drive the pace car.
We dropped off a prisoner. Darlington jail is right across the street from the racetrack.
Yeah, convenient. That's
And,
smart.
I was like, what, let's go visit and see if they'll let us, I was thinking just let us walk on the track,
Yeah.
And this guard, we told him who we were, and he's like, hold on, you U.S. Marshals? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow. He gets on the phone, yes, U.S. Marshals, yeah, they're going on the track. I'm like, awesome, we're getting on the track. He's like,
He's trying to throw some kind of redneck thing.
He's like, you just drive. And I'm like, drive? He's like, man, just take the vehicle on the track. I'm like, oh,
Nobody
dude.
else was like, no waiver, no form.
There was like a couple of guys painting, the walls or something.
How
So
many
he's
times?
like, just be careful with those guys.
How many times did you hit the ball? It's the lady in black. It's the lady in black. How many
I
times did you hit
couldn't,
the ball?
dude. That's the problem. If I end up with a police car on the wall, that would not be good. Not good. But we were like little kids, man.
How many laps did you take? Were you out there for like 2 hours or something?
Is it socially acceptable for me to hit the wall in a police car
No.
at Darlington?
No. Well, I mean, Darlington wouldn't care, but the agency would. That's
Well,
the problem.
I'm the taxpayer.
And that's a
so
bad story to tell the boss.
I'm the
Yeah, I was
taxpayer,
goofing
so
off in
technically it's
Darlington.
my car anyway.
We were going to come home, you
Yeah.
see, but then we saw the gate was open and the guy said, come on.
Guy waved us in, man.
And turn 2 is just tough. I mean, you've seen it on TV.
So I've got it on video, and we are just laughing like two little schoolgirls, as we're driving around the track.
That's
It's just
hilarious.
funny
That's
as
awesome,
heck,
man. That is
That
awesome.
is cool. It's cool.
Never got to do that in Homestead, so went to the races in Homestead, but never put a car on the track.
Really? Oh.
They were good to us down there, though. I mean, law enforcement was taken care of really well by NASCAR. So that worked out real good.
I'll tell you who I miss in NASCAR. I miss Tony Stewart. He was my man after Bill Elliott.
I liked old Tony Stewart, too, back in the day.
That's a race car driver.
That is a race car driver.
That's a race car
That is a
driver.
race
Tony
car
Stewart.
driver. Yeah, you're right about
And
that.
he'll fight you on the go-kart races.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
he was throwing a helmet or something. Oh, my God, man. But it's nothing like the old Cale Yarborough Donnie Allison fight.
Yeah.
God, that's a Daytona, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Daytona.
Daytona, yeah.
Man, that's great
Just
stuff.
good stuff.
All right, so being from Miami, Dolphins fan? No? Yay? Nay?
Yes, he's a Dolphin fan.
Oh, man, I'm a Dolphin fan.
They suck.
Darius Rucker hit it right on the head, dude. The Dolphins make me cry. That is a true story, man. True story. Every year it seems now. But yeah, diehard. Dolphin season ticket holder when I lived down there.
Yeah.
And Hurricanes.
Oh, the U, man. I love
U.
the U teams, dude.
Yeah,
I
went
love
to
the
school
U
at
back
University
in
of
the
Miami,
day.
so
Well,
I gotta represent that
If it
too.
makes you feel any better, I like Carolina. I mean, I like the Carolina Gamecocks. They suck. So
It's tough, man. That's
The
tough.
problem with Carolina is you are in the toughest division, period. SEC is brutal. and you've got the machine of Alabama, you got the machine of LSU. And Florida has had some really good years, and it's hard to recruit. And Georgia, and it's hard to recruit against schools like that. Auburn's in there too. I mean, that's a hell of a division.
Yeah,
it really is, or conference, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't envy them.
But we have a good time. You go to the games. You drink a lot of bourbon and
drink.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm offended. I would never.
You got to. You ever watch the Carolina football game?
You gotta have something.
You gotta have something. I love them, but man, it gets tough sometimes.
Basketball games are a different story.
Basketball games are fun.
See, now your coach is a Miami guy, Cuban guy from Miami.
Now, my entertainment for the basketball games comes from Falls.
I get way too. We've been over this before. I get way too invested in basketball games.
Men's.
Yeah, men's. Yeah.
I'm thinking that Falls is going to take his shirt off, throw it out on the court, and throw a hot dog at him or something like that.
I'm not that. I mean, it is a little over exaggerated, but I do get way too invested in the basketball.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining to me.
Next year I'm going with you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I don't think I can get the same seats I had this year because the people behind us, I think, were a little offended by some of my comments and the way I acted sometimes. So I think I got to find new seats in the arena. But other than that, we're good. We're good. So although that one lady did slap me behind me that one game, the last game.
Did you?
We were playing Tennessee. It was halftime, and the score was tied 30-30. And we're sitting there minding our own business, and I think Travis and I went and got some drink, came back. We come back, and she just I'm sitting there talking to Travis, and she smacks my shoulders, smacks me and says, "Hey." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "Wasn't it 30-30?" And it was 29-30 at that point. I guess they had changed the score or something, but she literally smacked my shoulder.
Well, it was before halftime, and then they changed the score.
And she wanted me to explain to her why it was changed, and I had no clue.
I just went to go get a beer.
Yeah, I was hanging out.
I remember, I was like, didn't you just see us get up and leave and come back?
Well, no, they're fine. I went to a basketball game. They're fine. I really like Frank Martin. I think he's a good coach, and hope we don't lose him. They're talking about maybe Miami, or is Miami going to make a coaching change in basketball?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd want to go back. Man, I'm gonna tell you. It's so funny when I tell people that I moved up here from Miami. The younger ones are like, "You left Miami?" I'm like, "Yeah. Have you been down there besides going to the beaches?" And it's a rough place. And I think, when you're in law enforcement, you kind of get jaded. When I was a kid growing up,
you see a lot of different stuff.
You do. You see the side that people don't see.
People that visit don't see.
Absolutely, and that's a good thing. You don't want the visitors to see the seedy side and the sides that are embarrassing. It's a definitely a slower pace up here. I think growing up, I still have a young son, and I think for him it was a good move to get him out of there because it's getting rough. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince my oldest to come up here. I think I've got him. He's on the fence. The middle one, I don't know. He really enjoys. He goes out in the Everglades and messes with the alligators out there and all the wildlife out there. So getting him up here could be tough. But 2 out of 3, I think I'm going to be okay.
He's going to be the one we see on TV that caught the 300-foot python snake or some crazy thing or whatever.
That is crazy. What's people have done just releasing their pets has created just a true mess down there.
Now, does he get paid for bringing in these things in? Do they have any kind of system for them killing them off?
I know they had some kind of. I know it's a time frame that
a season for it.
I want to say it's longest in the biggest snake in length and the biggest snake in weight, I think, get some kind of prize.
Really?
But I'm not really sure.
Do they pay in cigars?
I wish they paid in cigars. That'd be great.
We'll put a little crew together.
Yeah.
I would not want to be anywhere near that, man. Snakes, I hate snakes, man.
They got some big ones, man. It's, 14, 15-foot pythons down there. And, see, people get them as pets when they're this big. It's real cute. But when that thing
Snakes
starts
aren't
growing,
cute.
I
They
love
don't
snakes.
realize how big
I
they
like, yeah, I like
man,
snakes.
no.
But you know, you're talking 14, 15, it could end you quick.
Yeah.
It
All
wrap
right.
around you and lights out.
My brother-in-law used to have 2 gigantic boa constrictors.
Dude, they're strong as heck.
And then my niece came along, so my sister-in-law made him get rid of them. Well, one of them died, so he kept the one, and I think the other one eventually died.
What is it? So he
My
just didn't let him
sister-in-law
out the
was
back
out
door
there.
and let him go be in nature? He just didn't let him out the back
He
door?
pulled them out a couple of times, showed them to him. I mean, they're non-aggressive.
I'd never go over there ever again. That'd be the end of my friendship with that.
Well, he hasn't,
I do. That's,
he hasn't had them for years.
that is the one thing I am terrified of is snakes.
Oh my
Some people
gosh.
are like terrified of flying or like certain things, but no, snakes are not.
So reptiles or just snakes?
Just snakes. I don't know. No, dude. I can't even see them on TV. If like Snakes on a Plane comes on, I'm turning the channel, buddy. I am off that show. I'm off that show, man. It's that bad, dude. I'm telling you, it's bad, man. Never had an experience with one, but
Hey, there's
not
people
me.
that don't like spiders.
That's what
So,
happens when you
yeah.
live in the suburb.
Well, I grew up in the country, man, and no, that ain't happening. No,
You guys got some crazy snakes here, though, man.
I don't work for them.
Is it cottonmouth or
Yeah, water moccasin,
Cottonmouth, water moccasin, they got
Copper
rattlesnakes, yeah,
copperhead.
copperheads.
Thanks. We have so water moccasins all over South Florida, all over. Because South Florida is just loaded with canals,
Yeah.
man-made to help with the movement of the water and hurricanes and all that. But
They're very aggressive snakes.
man, they are aggressive as heck. They really are. They will come after you. You know, a lot of people, just shake the ground and they'll move away. Walk. They'll move away. Like, yeah, no. You never
No,
mess
they'll
with
come
water
after you.
moccasin will come after you.
Yeah,
They'll come after you out of a tree,
Out of the water.
Yeah, they don't mess around at all.
Yeah, they're hard charging.
Very
too.
aggressive snake. Very aggressive.
That's not me.
Now you do corporate security for a bank.
I do. Been doing that just over 18 months, which was it was a hard adjustment. When you go from working the streets and locking people up, and when you go into a house, you are the one in charge. Everybody listens to us. We have a warrant. There's a reason for us to go in. And now it's a totally different mindset. It's is the bank, are we safe? Are we doing these practices? Or I'm glad that when I retired, I took a break because mentally it's just it's a 180 complete change. So
A lot slower pace, I guess.
a lot slower paced. The banks, each branch is its own little animal, and they all are different. The funny thing is, I don't have one branch that looks like the other. Every single one is different. But a lot of that is our bank. We took over a lot of failed banks, smaller banks that were going under or whatever. So, you take the construction that building had, and then you compare it to this bank's, and it's just totally different. So it's a completely different setup. But the bottom line is all the same. You got to have the alarm systems, you got to have the cameras, you got to have everything set in place to protect the bank and to protect our employees.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, different animal these days.
it is. It's totally different.
But what are any future aspirations when you retire?
Yeah, man.
You see, I'm already there.
Yeah, no, so I've got, like I said earlier, I've got a young son still in 7th grade. So I am hoping that once he goes off to college, I will go off to Tennessee in the mountains, and you guys can come visit me. And have
Maybe
a nice,
for a NASCAR race.
nice.
sometime.
Oh, go to Bristol.
Well, we go
Yeah,
Bristol. Hey, even
Bristol.
better. Yeah, we're not there by Travis.
I'm trying to be up by Johnson City, Tennessee.
It's not my
Close to
house.
the mountains.
We don't do it at my house because there's nowhere to park. It's a little tight,
Oh.
cul-de-sac. So
Johnson City is a beautiful area.
Very,
Very, very nice area. Very nice area.
very nice and not too populated, and the Smoky Mountains are right there, so it's not bad.
So, don't want to be back into like a warmer tropical climate, like nowhere in Florida at all. You want to be in the mountains.
The
a little
object is to
cooler,
be in the
or-
mountains in a income tax state. That's the plan.
Smart move. Smart move.
So
Smart move.
that's what we're shooting for.
Very cool.
Hopefully.
Let me tell you how great the retired life is.
Oh boy.
It's great. It's great.
I agree. You know, I did not work. Well, I worked. I mean, I wasn't doing anything hard. It was 8 months of just hanging out. It was good. But after
I
a
remember
while,
when you was talking about.
too much Netflix and
Getting
Amazon
into
Prime, that was enough, man. I was like, oh man.
I remember when you was talking about getting into this, you know, into corporate security for the banking system. But yeah, I mean, that's how fast time flies.
It does. I mean, I'll tell you, you know,
But it seems like it was yesterday.
I look at it and I was like, 26. So I was a marshal for 26 and a half years, and I still am amazed that the time went by as quick. You know, it seems like yesterday. You know, I can still remember going through the academy and being tormented, and you know, it was great. It was a great experience. I have no regrets.
So did y'all have, you had your own Marshals Academy you had to go to?
So I'll say this correctly. About 90% of the federal agencies go through a place called the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, and that is in Brunswick, Georgia.
Okay.
And if you've never been there, you'll know you're there when you smell it. The paper mills are all around it.
Yeah, that's a unique smell.
Man, oh God almighty, is that brutal. And of course, I was there during the best time of year, June through September.
Oh man,
It wasn't too hot. Didn't smell bad. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, it's a different smell. It really stinks, but it's this kind of crazy smell. You know,
You won't forget it.
There's a paper mill in Augusta.
There
And
is.
anytime you get within a few miles of that thing, it's just horrible.
You're right. But for some reason, man, even now, when I'm driving back to Miami or driving up, right when I go through Brunswick, that smell is like, boom, it hits. Like, oh, yeah, it hits you, man.
It goes down your spine. I mean, it,
It does.
Really does.
It
It goes down
into
your
the core.
spine.
It really does. Yeah.
It's horrible smell.
Wow, the paper mill smell, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty raw.
The smell is a byproduct of the processing.
Yeah.
And it's like a sulfur, I don't know what it is, man. But it's brutal. It's brutal.
I had an aunt, my dad's aunt, my great aunt. Her and her husband, my great uncle, they lived in a really prominent neighborhood, not real far from the from the airport, but the paper mill's close to the airport too. You know, in the proximity of it. I always thought it was the waste treatment plant, and then one day, you know.
And that smell carries, man. It goes.
I was like, I had mentioned that to my dad whenever I was a kid. I was like, I don't know how they live close to that. He said, we live close to what? That waste treatment plant. You know, I always smell like doo when we come over here. He was like, he said, son, that's the paper mill.
Yeah, that's the truth. And,
I just couldn't believe it. I've hated paper.
Well, so I guess you're not one of these hoarders with all the toilet paper. You know.
Well, that's a necessary.
That's a whole other story for another day, I guess. But you know, we spent a lot of weekends. You know, when you're up in Brunswick, Georgia, you don't have a whole lot to do. So we were in St. Simons and Jekyll Island a lot, and even there, on a bad day, it'll waft on over. It's rough.
Wow.
That's the best way to say it. It's rough.
Wow.
What are we thinking about these cigars? Falls? What's your?
It's picking up steam a little bit. That it's got that smooth candela, but it's also it's good. It's a unique taste. I mean,
I can't really describe it.
Yeah.
It does have a unique flavor.
It does, and I thought it was.
I don't get any flavor notes out of it, really.
No.
No, like chocolate or cinnamon or like.
You know, I don't
white
get
pepper
any.
or
Yeah, nothing
like that.
I don't get any lemon zest or nothing like that.
Nothing.
But I mean, it is very interesting and unique because it has 3 different wrappers on it. It goes a little light, then it comes on strong. And
Right. Just depends on where you are on the wrapper.
I love the presentation of this cigar.
It's a neat looking cigar. It really
It
is.
is. I like the 3 wrapper barber pole design. It's
Yeah, that
really
was a
cool.
great, beautiful design on that. Very, very good cigar. Very good cigar.
I'm not a huge Alec Bradley fan, but I think they did a good job with this cigar.
Definitely, I do. I'm agree 100% agreement there. So
I'd smoke it again if I was able to get one.
yeah, I would definitely smoke it again. I mean, I would definitely.
Well, that won't be till next year. We actually sold out of these pretty quick.
Yeah, I was surprised. I wasn't sure how well we always got the Filthy Hooligan. We do well with those, but I took a flyer on these and we'll obviously try to get more of them next year because we sold out of them within a week or so, I believe. So, but yeah, so it's definitely if you can get your hands on some, definitely try to. It's worth a try on one of them for sure. So. Even if you don't want to smoke it, just to have it in your humidor to look at it, it's a good looking cigar.
It is a very neat looking cigar. I like it.
Yeah. I have the only one left in my humidor home.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna give it a rating here before we close it out.
1 to 10. What's your rating, Pauls? And you know better.
1 to 10. Solid 7.6.
Oh, you're killing me, Pauls.
7.6. 7.6.
It's a half or a whole rating, and Pauls is always all over the decimal
It's
system.
7.5, but I knew he'd be upset with the 7.6. That's why I went 7.6. So anyway, that's my rating. It's very good. I mean, I would definitely smoke it again. It's got a good burn to it. You know, no issues. Haven't had to relight it. It's good taste, good flavor. Like I said, it picks up a little steam. I don't know, like y'all were saying, like if the wrapper, maybe it's just hitting different parts of the wrapper or whatever. But I think it's a solid cigar. It's a very solid cigar.
It is.
So. All right, John, what do you think?
I'm right there with you. I'm not going to go 7.6. I'd say 7.5, definitely. Not something not offensive at all to smell or taste. No, like I said, I had to relight and. Didn't get that harsh taste that you sometimes get on a relight.
Yeah.
No, definitely solid cigar. 7.5. I'll go 7.5.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I really like the presentation. The presentation on the cigar is awesome. I'm not getting any real flavor profile out of it, but I do like how it just kind of how it marries. It kind of gives you that, that kind of smooth and then picks up steam. I think that the Seiko wrap on it, really kind of blends that Maduro and that Candela together very well.
Yeah, very, very unique.
So yeah, great job on this cigar. Guys at Alec Bradley, thank you for putting this out. They retail for about $12. You can probably still find some of them out there online, maybe at your local retailer. But go out there and give it a try. Support those guys. They did a great job on this cigar. And we got some. I guess we need to tell people about our new shop hours due to the coronavirus. We're here at the shop. We're 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday. It's still 1:30 to 6 on Sunday, but we've gone now to just doing to-go stuff. So cash and carry, you can come in and look and buy, but we've closed the lounge part down until for the foreseeable future, at least until all this stuff blows over. So give it 2 weeks.
We'll see. We have an alcohol license, so that's why we had to go to that model. But anyway, if you don't live in the area, definitely go out and support your brick and mortars, all your local shops, no matter if it's cigars or local restaurants or whatever, because it's a tough thing right now the country's going through, and it's definitely good to support local for small businesses and support the local guys that they need to support now, more than ever. So that's what we're doing, and hopefully it won't last long, and hopefully we can get back to a normal routine and operating hours from there. So
don't forget, put in for your Arturo Fuente
ashtrays. Yes,
you got to get it in by March 25th.
Yeah, so.
I had to say that, or he's going to hurt me. So.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to do, so only send one entry. We don't need 10 emails a day.
Just one entry. We'll be taking entries till March the 25th. We actually didn't introduce this at the beginning of the month, because I just totally forgot about it. I put it out there on social media. And I put it on our website. I put it on our website, put it on social media, but.
So now, if you send an email, that you'll probably win, most likely. So, have you had any entries so far?
Yeah, I've got several of them.
Okay, awesome, very cool, very cool.
Putting one in tonight.
Hey.
I don't work for the store. I can put it.
I'm going to make my burner account here in a second.
But giving away 2 of these very nice ashtrays. I have a red one. I really like it. It's my favorite ashtray. So just put in, email us at Casa de Stogies Cigar Review at gmail.com. We just need your first and last name, your date of birth, your city and state, so when we announce the winner, we can tell them where you're from. And you can provide your phone number if you want to. I just prefer your email address. It's a lot easier for us on our end. Giving away 2 of them, so it doesn't cost you anything. Shipping's free. So enter to win. You might be the lucky winner, so good luck. And that'll do it, I guess, for this episode of Casa de Stogies Cigar Review. And we will see you all next time.
Thanks for coming, John.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
John, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Enjoyed having you, man.
Thank you.
All right, you guys out there in video land, we'll see you next time.